Welcome back to the show. This is not the first time that Pakistan has accepted aid or accepted the conditions attached. Let's take a look back.
The history of United States aid to Pakistan has followed a predictable pattern. The money is tied to the US security imperatives. No wonder then the US-Pakistan relationship has been called transactional. As a result of a 1954 Mutual Defense Assistance Agreement, the United States provided nearly $2.5 billion in economic aid and nearly $700 million in military aid to Pakistan between 1954 and 1964. But the Indo-Pakistani conflicts of 1965 and 1971 led the United States to suspend nearly all aid to Pakistan as well as to India. It assisted them almost exclusively with economic aid for the next 15 years. $1.45 billion in economic aid compared to only $26 million in military assistance from 1965 to 1971. Between 1972 and 1979, Pakistan received $1.1 billion in economic aid and only $2.9 million in military assistance from the United States. In 1979, the Carter administration suspended all aid to Pakistan except for food aid because of Pakistan's development of a uranium enrichment facility. With the invasion of Afghanistan by the Soviet Union, US assistance again increased dramatically. Continuing throughout the 1980s, between 1980 to 1990, the US provided more than $5 billion in aid, $3.1 billion in economic assistance, and $2.19 billion in military assistance. Concern within the United States about Pakistan's nuclear ambition led Congress in 1985 to pass the Pressler Amendment to the Foreign Assistance Act. The amendment required the President to certify that Pakistan did not have a nuclear weapon for the fiscal year in which aid was to be provided. Throughout the 1980s, former Presidents Reagan and George H.W. Bush certified that Pakistan did not. But in 1990, George H.W. Bush refused to confirm that Pakistan did not have nuclear technology. Between 1991 to 2000, most economic and all military aid was cut off. The US provided less than $500 million, $429 million in economic assistance, and $5.2 million in military assistance. The United States also blocked major military equipment delivery, including approximately 28 F-16 jets that Pakistan had already purchased. Aid to Pakistan was further restricted after its 1998 nuclear test and General Musharraf's 1999 coup. The George W. Bush administration's expensive assistance to Pakistan after 2001 was skewed heavily towards military assistance. Of the over $11 billion given to Pakistan, 72% was given in security-related aid. This included Coalition Support Fund or CSF, funds to reimburse Pakistan for its counter-terrorism activities, along with other military assistance and financing.
Foreign policy has often been the boxing ring in which civilian governments and the military have sparred. More in this report. If the Kerry-Lugar bill exposed a fault line in civil-military relations, that's nothing new. It has been a sometimes fractious relationship characterized by mistrust. Whether it's economic management, governance, or foreign policy, civil and military leaders have fought over the levers of control. Benazir Bhutto complained in September 1991 that she was denied information about highly sensitive aspects of the country's nuclear program during her first term as Prime Minister. The military has jealously guarded the nuclear program since General Zia-ul-Haq, even though it was initiated by civilian Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. The nuclear program has had serious foreign policy implications, drawing aid suspension from the US under the Pressler Amendment in 1991 and further international sanctions in 1998 when Pakistan first tested its nuclear device. The military has argued that regional security issues, especially vis-a-vis Afghanistan and India, has increased its relevance in decision-making.
Why Pakistan became a national security state? So it was the Indian factor, it was the hostile attitude of the Indian leadership.
Other analysts argue that the Indian threat perception has been exaggerated to serve the military's interests. Wherever the military's position has been opposed, it has been quick to react. When former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif was taking the friendship bus with former Indian Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the Pakistan Army launched the Kargil operation. Moreover, the military's reliance on overseas weapons and equipment procurement has also had foreign policy implications.
Procurement of weapons and military equipment from abroad has always been a major consideration for Pakistan's foreign policy, beginning from the earliest days of independence. It definitely influenced the kind of foreign policy choices Pakistan made from time to time. For example, Pakistan joined SEATO, CENTO and other alliances in the 50s mainly to strengthen its defense vis-a-vis India, and other decisions have also been influenced because high-tech weaponry aircraft are available either from the United States or from the Western countries. However, it has not really caused conflict between the civil and the military, because the civilian leadership, whenever it was in power, always shared the military's view of security, that Pakistan faces a major threat mainly from India. Therefore, the civilians have supported the policy of weapon procurement from abroad.
But it is more than a question of missing F-16s. Until civilian governments are able to credibly govern the country, the military will continue to have a say, even without a formal political role. Where has the government gone wrong on the Kerry-Lugar bill? We'll find out after this short break.